Getting at the heart of the build, there's a lot of leeway for this build, so pick and choose what you want, but I'll be going over what I personally do in this run. For your special stats, I go for strength for just a bit more to carry around, 1 perception. I crank my endurance all the way up to 10 because every perk and stat you're prioritizing for a Ghandi build is tankiness and survivability, and you get a bit more health out of this. I do 1 charisma, pretty standard, 4 intelligence, but you can go full mouth breather if you want and dump this all the way down. It's not required at 4, I just like getting educated. 10 agility, I do this for a decent sneak level, as sneak is just great for this build overall. And finally, I do 10 luck. You don't need 10 luck, it's not crucial as most builds in New Vegas do high luck for the critical hits. We're not going for crits, obviously. It just kind of gives me the option if I want to gamble for some caps, and it boosts overall skills passively, so I'd focus on the big things in terms of perks you want to get beforehand. I've done this run several times on permadeath, on very hard hardcore mode, and all the footage in this video is on that difficulty. For traits, I go with Logan's Loophole cause I ain't hitting 30, plus the boost in duration to chems is huge, and being immune to addictions is also great. This is really a slept on trait for sure, and skilled, enough said, it's the best trait in my opinion. You also want to be a slay queen for the perk Black Widow. I tag speech as being a silver-tongued devil is your main weapon, so to speak, for getting through quests, bypassing Legatlanius, and leveling up. Survival for Travel Light, a super crazy good perk that's extremely underrated. And the last thing I tag is Lockpick, just to get 24 Lockpick out of the way for easy leveled locks. I also dump all of the Courier Stash DLC items, as I just don't use them. In Goodsprings, grab the Stealth Boy in the safe in the schoolhouse, bypassing some Baba Mantises. In terms of chems, Turbo, Stealth Boys, and then Hydra are the most valuable. Hydra is only good if you're playing on hardcore though, otherwise just ignore it. With really Turbo being the top of the totem pole, the cream of the crop. As you ideally want at least 4 to 6, but you don't need Turbo, but it just helps a lot in dire situations. Getting Turbo is also RNG. I've had runs where I only got like 1 before. I think I even did a run where I got none. You really do want as much Turbo as you can get, the more the merrier. As a sitting duck, the first chance of any defense for yourself is at Gene skydiving. Grab the key off the desk and unlock the locker. This was pretty nutty. I got a leather armor in here. This is RNG as well, and it's the first time I think I've ever seen leather armor here personally. But really what you're looking for is boxing tape, which also spawned for me on this run. Pretty crazy good luck so far. Fatigue weapons like boxing tape are our bread and butter, which sets up what you're really in store for in this run. A walking sim, sprinkled in with knocking the shit out of enemies in a non-lethal manner and peeling the hell out of there. You can also get boxing gloves here as well, but boxing tape is better until we snag our BIS weapon at the Lucky 38. Make your way for Primm, following the typical loop route, dodging or knocking out any geckos. Going over the rules of this run, it's very simple. I can't kill anyone obviously, or anything including animals, humans, robots, etc, etc. I can't use companions at all. Sorry, Veronica.
Alright, have it your way.
But deaths inflicted by anything other than me don't count against me. There is one minor questionable part of the NCR questline that kinda goes against this, but we'll talk about it later. And I can't make choices that otherwise would get someone killed in something like dialogue. Basically, where I have a choice in determining someone's fate, we are conscientious objectors. You don't need anything in Primm, so just pass right on by and stay on the left flank along the Ivanpah Dry Lake. This lets you dodge the ants, only having to either run past or knock out some bark scorpions. The goal in mind is Nipton, and once you're in Nipton, you want to go inside the Nipton Hotel. This has NCR faction armor, which serves dually as a disguise to take the monorail to New Vegas, and just good armor when you're getting beat up on. Then head towards Wolfhorn Ranch as seen in the video. There's some more leveled variant bark scorpion hunters in like a unmarked burrow of sorts. Run past them and stay how it is in this video. If you veer to the left, you can run into a gang member. It's a jackal or a viper, but they come strapped with a grenade rifle. Once you reach Wolfhorn Ranch, test your luck at the armor locker. I got another leather armor, which is kind of crazy. This is usually other lower leveled armor as well, but we'll take it. The basic principles of armor you're going to use is once you get travel light, it speeds you up a lot. So use this when traversing the world, but when you're getting beat up on and you need some extra DT, you can slap on some medium armor or even heavy armor if you find any. From Wolfhorn Ranch, your next destination is Novac. Simply follow the route on this video and all you have to deal with is some mole rats. Same as before though, avoid veering too far to the left of the mole rats as there is more gangbangers with grenade rifles. Once in Novac, I always grab the Ranger takedown perk, which brings up the most important skills you want to level up is firstly speech. I personally go 90 speech plus 10 from the naughty nightwear for 100 speech. You can go lower if you get like comprehension and mentats and do a bunch of min-maxing, but I just like to get 90 to get it out of the way. Then I go heavier on sneak just for getting around enemies easier, then put the rest of my points here and there into medicine and survival as well. From Novac, your next destination is Boulder City. Follow down towards Gibson's Scrapyard in Helios 1. I reached level 2 here and it's pretty vital to get Black Widow for your first perk in dealing with Benny. You can skip all the ants or just knock them out. The only thing you really want to worry about here is get the fast travel point of interest, Vault 11 for the future. In Boulder City, you want to just get one item, the Great Khan leather armor inside where you meet Jessup for Boulder City Showdown. I actually came back here later to finish this quest as you need I think 60 speech, but this quest bugged for me. I have no idea why. I've personally never seen this bug before, but he wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't let me negotiate with him regarding solving the hostage situation, whatever. Moving on. Swim across Lake Mead to Camp Gulf. Make your way over the mountain as shown, bumping into some coyotes, no big deal, and boom, you're that much closer to the monorail at Camp McCarran. Once at Camp McCarran, head for the monorail, then equip your NCR disguise, and just like that, we in Vegas, baby. Under the bright lights of the strip, head for the tops. Fuck Benny.
That was a nice bit of hey girly.
Get that sweet ass EXP as you let Benny get that sweet ass and get back on the move. For the NCR questline, you don't need the chip at all, so it's sayonara, Benny. At level 4, I grabbed Educated. It requires 4 intelligence, so keep that in mind, but Travel Light is a superior choice here as it really does boost the efficiency of the walking sim. This midway point of the story unlocks the NCR main questline for Ambassador Crocker, but I first go grab some drugs in the safes inside the Lucky 38, which has a random chance of spawning random chems, which can be turbo. You can also get turbo at the bartender in the Gomorrah, so shop up and see if you get lucky. Then I grab the only weapon I'll need for this entire run, the Pacifist best friend, the golden gloves. Traverse through Freeside, just unlocking some fast travel points, with really the most crucial one here being the North Vegas Square, again for later. If you got the caps, make a stop and shop at Mick and Ralph's for the naughty nightwear. Then head straight for the boomers. Right before Nellis at the Field Shack, I always grab the pressure cooker for the rebreather, and you really kinda do want one turbo here ideally, then just keep to the left hand side of the wall, and as soon as the first bomb drops, pop your drugs and beeline straight for the gates. Grab the combat armor and helmet for some nice medium armor. Before the boomers, I backtrack and and unlock the Hoover Dam point of interest. Now, getting good with the boomers is a little annoying, but when is it not annoying, I guess? What I do is listen to the little kid give the Merle speech and exhaust the speech dialogues with the kid, collect all the scrap metal around the bunker, give it to Jack. Then I grab the Young Hearts quest from Jack by either your speech or Black Widow. I take speech for the EXP gains. And finally, the mind-numbingly annoying unmarked quest of Mr. Cuddles.
Hey there, mister. Can you help me find Mr. Cuddles?
It's annoying just because Lindsay roams around the base, and this base is freaking huge. I felt like Chris Hansen was gonna pop up and tell me to sit down for how hard I had to search for this little girl. Lindsay! Lindsay! Where are you? Shit, I'm gonna be put on the Epstein list for this shit. Finally, I finished Young Hearts reuniting the thirsty, kinda creepy Jack with his Janet. I had to grab a couple of more scrap metal at Gibson's scrapyard, but we're good to go. Start the Lady of the Water, use the pressure cooker to get the rebreather from Jack, swim across Lake Mead and get the bomber lifted from the abyss, and done data. Now it's time to play Diplomat. We're starting Crocker's questline to secure a truce between the NCR and the Kings. Freeside is currently a powder keg of tension at the moment, and Ghandi Gilf ain't having it. Our goal is to de-escalate the situation. This part requires foresight for sure. The route I go for this is first the Oris bodyguard quest. You need 30 medicine for inspecting the bodies to see that they're feigning death like a hunter from World of Warcraft. Interview the lieutenant dudes at the Mormon fort. Then now this part after is the most important. When you return to the king, he informs you of some local squatters, suspecting treachery from the soldier boys, which turn out to be they're just passing food out to the local NCR. But they're also excluding the Freeside locals. I mean, they got a kid chasing a rat around here, so that's pretty fucked up. The vital aspect of this though is you need to talk to Julia Farkas once the king gives you the option to, before going to the food bank. Get Julia to the dialogue where she tells you to mention her name to Elizabeth, and then exhaust all dialogue with Elizabeth at the local food bank. These are all marked as optional objectives, but failing to do this will soft lock you. So if you delete a save or you can't reload back, GG run. Because when you come back to save the dumbass pacer at the shootout with the NCR will always remain hostile towards you, regardless of if your weapon is holstered or drawn then holstered. Even NCR disguises are all in vain. It won't work. Simply talk to Elizabeth here and activate the peaceful Ghandi Gilf way. Now we're heading for the Great Khans. Travel from the El Rey Motel to the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters. Be mindful of the mines in Fiend territory as you're crossing the road. I have lost permadeath runs on this. Once you reach the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters, flank alongside the cliffs as seen here, where you typically find Cook.
I'm Cook, bitch.
But steer clear of his base, his home of operations. All along this route to Red Rock Canyon, you might bump into some fire geckos. They can spawn or wander near where you find Chance's map. I got lucky this time around. When reaching the Great Khans Red Rock Canyon, unlock the drug lab fast travel. And also Jack has a chance of selling turbo here, so check his vendor. I didn't get lucky. At the Khan Longhouse, start the quest Oh My Papa. Exhaust all dialogue with Carl, Papa Khan, and Regis. Makes this happen. Then exit the Longhouse. Then I start with getting Diane on my side, rescue the martyr Anders from Cottonwood Cove, which is really easy to reach. If you come from Wolfhorn Ranch, you just follow the road down towards Camp Searchlight, stay on the left side, and you might have to deal with some ghouls here and there, but it's pretty easy. Deliver a completely innocent package to Don Hostelier, and just like that, we're good with Jack and Diane and speaking out against the Alliance with the Khans and the Legion. All you have to do is some dope work and you got the druggies on your side. Far out, bro. From the Goodsprings graveyard, we have to contact Melissa. I wasted my one and only stealth boy here. It is what it is. Stealth boys don't really help that much against cazadors. They have very high detect sneak levels, and I think they have max perception or close to it, so they always see through stealth boys and high sneak. I pop this mainly for the deathclaws that sometimes can roam around where you enter the improvised Great Khan encampment. Look for the weird kind of like totems that Great Khan people put up, and this kind of signals the general area towards this encampment where Melissa is, atop the quarry junction. Just kind of follow how it is in this video by staying on the cliffside to avoid the murder bugs, and you're pretty much good after that. You might run into some deathclaws up here, so that's why I popped the stealth boy in vain. Head back, then reveal Carl's, or I guess Caesar's, true intentions. This is also kind of questionable because this does kind of decide the fate of Carl in a way, but hey, I didn't kill the little bro, so. And if you kind of look at it, I am stopping future bloodshed. I get the cons to go their own way and become their own people, and just like that, the cons are done. Now I go for the VIP key card for dealing with Mr. House. This is at the H&H tool factory. This part is sorta tough, and you really do want either a turbo or a well-placed thrown explosive, like a frag grenade or even a grenade rifle, to detonate the mines on the entrapped staircase. With the turbo, what I do is activate the mines while in slow motion and backtrack, letting them detonate. If you do go the route of lobbing some thrown explosives, be mindful not to kill the robo-brains for that Ghandi Gilf way. The keycard is at the top in a office on the desk near the terminal. There's also some frag mines in the doorway right when you go in, but they were set off on this run. I think the Mr. Handy, I've never seen a Mr. Handy up here. I think he detonated them. I'm not really sure, but now earlier I kind of said there was another questionable part, and Mr. House is that questionable part because, I mean, you kind of kill him doing this in a way, but first you have to get to him. Unlock the terminal, then open the door. I always pop a turbo, then just make a break for the second terminal, then unlock the control room. The only peaceful approach you can really go here is shutting down his mainframe. It's insinuated he later dies from exposure to the same shit that everyone else in the wasteland is exposed to, as the microbial germs feast upon his ancient sterile corpse like a buffet. This is questionable, but it's more or less similar to, like, I don't know, how Carl from the Great Khans died. I mean, it's more direct, we play much a bigger role in this for sure. But I didn't kill him technically, so make up your own mind, but you have to do this. And since you can actually kill him outright, just like with weapons or whatever, or through the other option, which is like the sterilize option, this is technically the pacifist way of leaving him alive, of being hands off and just letting the time of his biological clock for once run out, just like the rest of us normal mortals. I just decommissioned his hardware, so to speak, leaving him in a vegetative state. At this point, I go to Sloan, as I'm sure you know how to get there, by going east of the Yangtze Memorial. The only real threat is there is a possibility of a giant rad scorpion spawning here, which giant rad scorpions, especially when you're low level, are very dangerous. It's usually just a normal medium rad scorpion, or sometimes even none. But once I make it to Sloan, just make your way for Hidden Valley, dodging some pincers and stingers all along the way. Since we can't use Veronica here, we get strapped up with a bomb collar, but before I do that, I go and grab the Brotherhood Holotape mission from the dead Brotherhood scouts, or patrol or whatever, in the crater where you find Mo, the unique centaur near Black Mountain. Kind of just killing two birds with one stone. The bomb collar quest is really simple. Just convince the NCR Ranger Dobson to fuck off out of here and you're good to go by telling him, like, basically there's powder gangers that sometimes post up in these bunkers. He just fucks off, so, and Makamara doesn't even care, he's cool with it. He's cool with the diplomatic approach, as he just largely wants him out of his hair. You know, out of sight, out of mind. Then I go grab the last two holotapes for the Brotherhood, and they're very easy. They don't really need much explaining. One is at RebCon headquarters. You just take the tour if you don't have high enough lockpick, grab the key card, then go upstairs, and it's on the top level. The other is in the bombarded craters at Nellis Air Force, just in the outskirts where you were getting bombed at when first entering here. It's now just a little bit better doing this after getting good with the boomers. Then I go do Vault 3, or the Fiend Vault, where Motor Runner lords over the Fiends. It's very easy, as you just traverse in a similar fashion to how you got got to Red Rock Canyon, veering around Cook's base, and then you might bump into a Fiend or two near Cook's base, but it's really not that big of a deal. And then I kind of just traverse past the Poseidon gas station. Just keep to kind of like the left-hand flank, reaching the door entrance to the inner Fiend territory. Then just kind of gung-ho sprint past them. Fiends aren't really that big of a deal, but there are ones with some decent weapons here, like laser rifles, so be mindful of that. And just make sure before entering Vault 3 to equip your Great Khan armor for a disguise, because if you do this on the inside of this vault, the Fiends will actually remain neutral to you, thinking you're a dope dealer to drop off your weekly shipment. Then you just make your way to Motor Runner, and inside the locker nearest to his throne is where you find the reverse pulse cleaner. Now we have to go to Vault 22. Again, travel back to the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters, and reaching the vault is the safest option. You can bump into some Cazadors, and of course Cazadors pose a significant risk, but you can avoid them entirely if you kind of just traverse how it is in this video. Then you just dodge the mantises on the outside of the vault's entrance and walk right in. Vault 22 is it's pretty rough, and probably the most stressful part of this run. The spore carrier people are really fast to knock out with fatigue imbued in your golden gloves. You can activate the elevator with a repair of 50. I didn't have this, but if you have this, it's even easier. So I'm going to attempt to explain this bit by bit, as this place really is a labyrinth and I got really lost. I was kind of roaming around like a chicken with my head cut off for parts. I should have went back, loaded a save and redone it, but I did this playthrough in long stretches, so. From the entrance, make your way down to the vault's oxygen recycling area. The whole time, watch out for spore carriers, usually within vegetation, and just punch the shit out of them. 2 hits is usually enough to knock them out, which is great. Upon entering, remain straight for the stairs. Head for the food production area, and same as before, just stay straight down the stairs for your primary location you're looking for in the vault common areas. This brings you on a typical vault layout on the top of like a 2nd floor balcony. On top of the balcony, just keep going straight and head for the overseer's office. In the office is a terminal which unlocks everything well, not everything, but just unlock everything you can in the overseer's terminal. Then you backtrack from the office, jumping straight off the balcony and down on the 1st floor. Then as shown, go for the door here. Basically what you're looking for is a key card. I got lost here. I totally lapsed on where it was located, but it's actually in the very first room upon entering, just on your left-hand side. I made the situation worse and pissed off like every spore dude in here and almost died. I got it done. The key card is just sitting on a shelf right by a baby carriage. So the baby carriage is kind of a reference point you can use to know that you're in the right room. It's literally in the first room on the left when you're entering. Now hightail it the hell out of there and head back upstairs as shown, which brings you back atop the balcony. I also got lost here. The terminal and the door you're looking for are in fact in the food production level. You need to open this door via terminal, and this brings you inside some cave systems, some caverns. Be really careful when you're dealing with the mantises in here. Like seriously, mantises are no joke. I've gotten 2-shot by these guys so many times. They probably have ruined more permadeath runs than any other creature in New Vegas, honestly. They really are the epitome of glass cannons, and they just hit like Mack trucks. In the caverns, you're looking for the Vault Oxygen Recycling Center in this area. And then once you reach this area, near the back, like near a chalkboard inside a locker, is where you find the HEPA cartridges. It's kind of a nightmare, honestly, doing this, and I was extremely rusty as it's been a hot minute since I've done this run. The Spark Notes pinpoints of this is head to Vault's Oxygen Recycling area, then food production, then the common areas, then the terminal in the overseer's office to unlock, then you get the key card, then back to the food production level, the caverns to the Vault Oxygen Recycling. Grab the filters and get the fuck out of there. The very last item you'll need for the Brotherhood is in Vault 11, and it's why I told you to grab it when making your way initially when traversing to Boulder City. Vault 11 is it's pretty easy. It's just infested with mainly a bunch of giant rats. There's also mantises here, but at this point I picked up Travelite and Usain bolted it past all of them. The pulse controls are located in a submerged area on the lower level of the vault. From the entrance, run past any critters like the scorpion scorpions and mantises, go in the front door and then stay right. Then just ahead down a flight of stairs with some doors, take the first left when coming down the staircase to the vault living quarters. The room where you find a mantis fighting a giant rat, you want to head a direct kind of right upon when entering. Just look at the video for a reference. Towards the overseer's office, navigational signs. That brings you down to the lower level section, which is really what you're looking for. From the overseer's office, you want to kind of make like a right and you're good to go, and then just keep following down and down as displayed on screen, and you'll finally reach a flooded area, and you swim down, and the room you're looking for is the second room on your left, and the pulse controls are located in a locker. And just like that, we have all the items for the last turn in with the Brotherhood of Steel. With all these items obtained, I go in and turn in these patrol tapes, the holotapes to Makamara. Then he gives me the scouts mission, which is very straightforward. One is near the NCR correctional facility, one is near Nipton, and the other is on the outskirts atop a cliff where you enter dead money near the town of Nelson. The quest markers are pretty straightforward and there's very little threats along the way. Like pretty much no threats, so basically just dumb and follow the quest markers. After turning in the scout reports, you're done with the Brotherhood. Now all you have to do is turn in the 3 items to Knight Lorenzo, and the NCR Brotherhood Truce is set in stone for the future. Finally, reporting back to Colonel Cassandra Moore has us starting the final loose end regarding factions in the Mojave, the Omertas. Basically, there's suspicion of treachery, which honestly, the NCR, due to all the incompetence they showed throughout the game, at least on the soldier side, they're right here. This entails us basically stopping and uncovering a weapon smuggling operation that the Omertas were basically strong-arming an NCR-connected arms dealer, which they plan to enact a terrorist attack with on the strip. This has us, the godly courier, stepping in. This quest starts by talking to an informant for the NCR at the Gomorrah, and all paths lead to Caccino. And it doesn't need much hand-holding. You just pickpocket Caccino's journal from him, you blackmail him for the journal back, and then this starts the quest up. You get let in on the loop of the scheme between him and the other 2 mob bosses. This has you talk to Troika and Clandon. The only stipulation in this quest is don't use your speech to force Troika to plant the explosives on the gun shipment himself. This does get him killed in the process. Besides that, you just lie to him with an 80 speech check that you're gonna rat him out to the NCR, and this has him spilling the beans of the location of the smuggled guns, which are in an adjacent room, and you just use the key he provides, and you go down there, you plant the explosives, shut the door, and activate the light switch and detonating. Deal with Clandon, the nice guy of the Mojave, pickpocket his key, then unlock the hidden safe right behind his dresser near to where his bed is. This unveils that Clandon is a typical nice guy. Basically, he's in the Epstein files. It is kind of questionable leaving this dude alive. We do, because we Ghandi Gilf, baby, and we just tell him basically to get the fuck out of here or we gonna tattletale. All of this checked off, just face the bosses Big Sal and Nero, getting the leopards to eat their own faces, so to speak, by passing a 80 speech check lie that states Nero was going to double cross him. Chaos ensues. Caccino fucking vanished, and I had to run around while the Gomorrah guards clapped his ass. And he hit really hard with his assault carbine, or marksman carbine, I can't remember which one it was. He hit pretty hard. With this done, report back to Cassandra, then set up the truce between the NCR and the Brotherhood. She really doesn't like, but we Ghandi Gilf, man. We Ghandi Gilf. We all about that peace. Now I do the President Kimball quest, which is very easy. You could really just let him die. It really doesn't matter one way or the other. Since we're kind of going with the theme of, you know, the rule set of preserving life when we can, we'll save him. All you have to do is access the top floor using a speech check on the guard, pickpocket the engineer that straps the bomb to the vertibird, then run straight for the tower where the Legion's sniper is set up. crap. I actually knocked him out here with the golden gloves. This other ranger just capped his ass. I was worried about this because I did make contact with him, but I didn't get any EXP here, so we're still good to go. We didn't kill nobody. And just like that, we're all systems go for the finale at the Hoover Dam. For my very last perk, I grabbed the Fight the Power for some extra DT against the Legion when doing the Hoover Dam Battle. Making the perks I snagged for this video: Black Widow at level 2, Educated at level 4, Toughness, the first rank at level 6, Travel Light at level 8, which kind of was a mistake. I probably should have grabbed Travel Light at level 4 because it made a huge difference. Then I got the last rank of Toughness at level 10, and then I reached level 12 and of course got Fight the Power. The Hoover Dam Battle is really easy. Just run past as shown in this video. Any turbo on hand goes a long way here as well. And also, I'd stack up on any stim packs, including super stim packs, maybe even some medics. I didn't use any, but it can only help. I also grabbed the Chinese stealth armor before I started this for one of the best light armors that still allows me to activate the travel light perk. And I just zip past everyone through the dam. Stealth boys help here too. I wasted the only one I ever had. You could just literally run past every enemy, sneaky or not. The only thing you have to worry about is getting to Legatlanius, and before you engage in dialogue with them, since I'm at 90 speech, and if you're doing that as well, equip your Naughty Nightwear for 100 speech. And congrats, you beat Fallout New Vegas as a conscientious objector, going the NCR route. I actually don't think I talked to the boomers. I thought I did. I actually don't remember if I did or not, but I didn't see them bomb the dam, I don't think. And this run is even easier if you go the yes man ending. So kind of like all of the things in this guide apply for that as well, but of course it's a little different. There's some stuff you don't have to do, and it depends on kind of who you side with, if you side with anyone or not, kind of thing, you know. I have tried to do a pacifist Caesar's Legion route. I don't think it's possible. I remember getting to the very end with the NCR Rangers coming in hot and heavy, and it didn't seem possible. It's kind of why I made this video. Most people kind of go the yes man route. This video is long enough as it is, and there's tons of leeway for this build just in general. As I've mentioned, it's not set in stone. This is just kind of the general build I go for. You could even go for high charisma too. There's tons of leeway. There's tons of stuff you can do with this. I left all of the timestamps down below, so if you ever want to do this walking simulator yourself, and just kind of some bragging rights, and I guess to yourself or whatever, and just kind of have this video up in the background for any part you're unsure of, you can just use the timestamps. Or, you know, if you just need some general insight when progressing further, if you're stumped on an area or whatever, was kind of like the whole purpose of this video. With all that said and all this rambling, I really hope to see you, Fallout fans, in the next one.